Okay guys, now it is time for Bev's, a little bit more than tipsy, not quite drunk, recap of the Magic Flute. So first things first, his dad, sick. His name's Tim. Well, not the dad. The main character's name is Tim. I'm probably gonna accidentally refer to him as Wylan, but I will just be calling him Jack Wolfe. So anyway, Jack Wolfe, his dad is sick, and rip Wylan Van Eck, you would have loved to live in a universe where that happened to your dad, but his dad dies, and then he goes to this music school late, and while he's on the train to the music school, he has this technically, on the most technical level, it's charged eye contact, except it's not charged at all because Jack Wolfe's character is so obviously gay that it's not even funny. And I don't know how to explain this. Heather, Lily, back me up on this. It's not that I don't think Jack Wolfe can play a straight man. It's that I truly think down to the core of this character, he's gay. He's gay. And so when you try to put him with a woman and make it believable, I'm like, what are you doing here, guys? That is some MLM WLW solidarity if I've ever fucking seen it, right? She had her hair in space buns most of the film. Anyway, moving on. So he eventually gets to the school, meets his roommate, immediately has more chemistry with his roommate than his supposed love interest, the girl whose name I cannot remember and will not remember. His roommate, shout out Paolo, though. They have a lot of fucking chemistry, immediately. Which, again, this character's just fucking gay. It's not that I don't think Jack Wolfe can play a straight man. I think he can. I think he has the range. I just think that this character's fucking gay. Anyway, he has this fucking opera book from his dad, because his dad was obsessed with the opera for some reason. The Magic Flute, the opera, his dad loved. I don't know why he has the written music bound manuscript, I guess, for this fucking play, but he does. His dad stole it, I guess. I think that was part of the exposition that I missed in the first 5 minutes of this movie because I was too busy freaking out over the fact that Jack Wolfe just looked like Wylan, but it wasn't Wylan. And then he puts the book back on the bookshelf, gets eaten by the fucking clock. And these little spirits come up to them and they're like, do you want to risk your life and go on this journey? And he's like, sure, why not? And then I asked the question a few minutes later, I was like, couldn't he have just said no? They didn't say if you say no, you're gonna die. Why did he say yes? You're that's a really good point. Why the fuck did he say yes? But anyway, he says yes. He's in this magical world, and then these 3 women come up to him, but they're spirits or whatever, I don't know. They come up to him and they're like, ooh, he's so beautiful. And they all start singing. And the singing in this movie, the lyrics, I cannot stress enough how to the point they are. To the point where it is distracting. The lyrics are so straightforward, the exact opposite of Purple Prose. They're so straightforward that I was literally why don't you tell me again how scared you are to be here? I didn't hear it the last 10 times you said it. I don't think these people know what a metaphor is. I think if you showed them an allegory, their brain would explode. Anyway, what the fuck else happens while he's on the trip for the first time? Oh, he meets that fucking dude whose name I can't remember, who's does fucking something, and then he ends up falling in love with a girl who has basically his name but not. Oh, he immediately gets a fucking concussion. That's what happens when he goes to this magic world. He goes to this magic world, immediately bonks his fucking head, gets a super bad concussion. And then they're like, you know what? We should take you to our fucking queen, I guess. Because he's the, prince? Yeah, he's the prince. Anyway, he goes to their fucking queen. She sings a song about how her daughter was captured, and so, he needs to rescue her daughter, and if you rescue my daughter, you can marry her. Okay, just auctioning off your fucking daughter while she's not even in the room. Why don't you ask her if she wants to marry him, huh? Why don't you make sure your daughter is okay with marrying a gay man before you just offer her up? You know what I mean? But we're moving on. We're shaking. I don't know when he goes back, but he goes back to the normal boarding school, which begs the question, why is the boarding school plot even here? Because they obviously just wanted to make an adaptation of the Magic Flute. Why didn't they just adapt the Magic Flute to fit the boarding school setting? Or just keep the original plot of the Magic Flute and just make a movie out of the opera. Why did they do this? Whatever. Anyway, so he goes back to the school. He gets spit back out by the fucking clock, and it's like 3 hours later. So he like went in at 3 a.m. and it's 3 hours later, so it's 6 a.m. and he's just fucking starting his day. I don't know, man. So he goes to school. There's this bully dude, Anton. This is the point in the movie where I started drinking, and so I don't remember much. I'm gonna be so real. Other than, Jack Wolfe, why are you trying to pretend like you like a woman? That's not how this works. Oh, is this the part where there's the fuck-ass bonfire? I don't know. I cannot express to you how much I do not fucking know what happened. He talks to his roommate some more. There's more gay tension. Oh, I think they have, like, auditions for the opera that the school is putting on, which is the Magic Flute, which is why he's, like, in the, I don't fucking know, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he finds out that he can only go back into the land of the Magic Flute, like, specifically at 3 o'clock. So he waits until 3 a.m., goes back into the land of the Magic Flute. He rescues the, like, queen's daughter, and then we find out that, like, the Queen of Darkness is the evil person who's been causing all the darkness, and who would have guessed, and I don't know, that's that whole thing. And then he gets back to the boarding school, which, once again, why is the boarding school plot here? He goes and he meets up with, is her name Bridget? Is her name Bridget, or am I making that up? I'm pretty sure I'm making that up from somewhere else. He gets back to the school, he goes to the, like, girl in the real life who he has not chemistry with, but is his love interest, and, like, she's talking about leaving the school. No, that comes later. Fuck. Okay, so Jack Wolfe and the girl in Spacebuns sing something by the Jackson 5. I forgot which song it was, but they sing something by the Jackson 5 together, and it's this scene that's supposed to be romantic, but it's like they were both reading their lines at a wall, and it's like neither of their faults, truly, because both of them seemed like pretty decent actors. It's just they did not have chemistry together, and I think there's just fundamentally something wrong with the script, where, like, while they were writing it, they were like, I'm gonna make these two characters so fucking queer-coded, you have no idea. Why the fuck is this happening? Like, truly, I think in, like, 4 years, they're both gonna have some discoveries to be made. And then he goes back to the land of the Magic Flute, and then he does some shit. What the fuck does he do? I think he starts the trials, because, like, he rescues the daughter, but then the king is like, oh, but in order to, like, actually rescue her, you need to go through these trials. And so then he, like, starts the trials, but then his 3 hours are up, and he's like, so sorry, dude whose name I forgot that was there with him this whole time that I didn't mention because I fucking forgot he existed, but I'll be back. And then when he's back, I think that's when he tells his roommate Paolo, shout out Paolo, about the land of the Magic Flute, and he's like, this sounds fucking insane, but you have to believe me. And he's like, but the problem is I can only go in at 3 a.m. And Paolo's like, the funny thing about 3 o'clock is that it happens twice a day. And that's right, a main fucking plot point in this movie is the fact that 3 o'clock happens twice a day. He's like, holy shit, I forgot about that. So anyway, he's able to go back in sooner. He goes back in, he completes the trials, and then I have the unfortunate experience of watching Jack Wolfe kiss a woman. It's pretty brief, so I'm like, okay, whatever, we got through it, we're done. Except we're not done, because he comes back out of the world and he realizes that the girl whose name is Bridget, but also not Bridget, fucking Spacebuns, is leaving. And he's like, oh no, I need to go find her. So he tries to go find her. He finds her at the train station, and they have that thing where they have the shot where the train starts going away, and he's like, no, I missed it, but, like, once the train's, like, fully gone, you can see she's standing on the other side of the tracks, and I was like, oh, great. And then that's when I get the unfortunate experience of watching Jack Wolfe kiss a woman again, but this time, like, a lot more. Like, and again, it's not Jack Wolfe specifically. I think he has the range to play a straight man. It is simply the character of Tim is so deeply gay down to his core that, like, I don't think there's a universe in which they could have, like, made this work with literally any actor. I think literally any actor would have played Tim, and it just, like, it would have come across as a gay man. Oh, at some point, Anton and Paolo, the, like, bully from earlier, and the roommate, they, like, have a weird side plot that happens where, like, Anton gets stuck in the woods and Paolo saves him. And then they talk about Paolo's old roommate who killed himself, but I don't know when that happened, but it happened. And I cannot remember what happens in the final, like, 10 minutes of this movie. Like, gun to my head, I could not fucking tell you. Because I truly think I was dealing with the, like, mental repercussions of seeing Jack Wolfe, like, kiss a woman on my screen. And then, next thing I know, I blacked out, and then I was looking up political RPF fan fiction on Archive of Our Own. Anyway, that was my recap of The Magic Flute. I hope you enjoyed.